Good morning from PFD headquarters. I hope you've all had a nice weekend and are ready for the new week. In today's personal finance news, we have the following. Early Retirement Now does an excellent overview of what the FIRE movement is all about. No Opinion on Substack tackles why there was a run on SVB this week. A new study confirms that even fund managers won't invest in their own funds. And The Daily Show comes in with a surprise endorsement of J.L. Collins. And as well, there'll be some amazing bonus content, so stay tuned for that at the end of the video. So what is financial independence, retire early, or the FIRE movement as it's known, all about anyway? Early Retirement Now does an excellent job of summarizing the key concepts that make FIRE work. From investing to frugality to enjoying life while you try to achieve FIRE, this article is a great primer for anyone who is curious about the movement and what it entails. Second up, we have No Opinion on Substack, who details exactly what happened with SVB and what it means for the larger system. I particularly like this quote. There are a number of reasons why the value of SVB's assets fell. One is that interest rates have gone up a lot in recent months. SVB invested in a lot of fixed-rate bonds and loans, and when interest rates rise, the price of fixed-rate bonds and loans falls. Another is that there's been a gigantic crash in the tech world over the past year, itself partly due to a rise in interest rates, but also to a localized bubble and other long-term factors. This means that lots of startups are probably headed for the scrap heap as soon as they run out of money, which makes them more likely to default on their SVB loans. It's a good article, so check it out. A King's College of London interview study indicates that fund managers in the US and the UK choose to passively invest rather than to invest in their own funds. I found the following snapshot so fascinating. Professor Spence says he was struck by how candid some of the interviewees were. We were really surprised that some individuals conceded to the superiority of index funds, he says. That some people even said, I wouldn't invest in my own fund, is truly remarkable and indicative of high levels of reflection and honesty, at least among some fund managers and analysts. Some of those interviewed were highly critical of the active fund industry. The amount of ignorance on the buy side is mind-blowing, said one, and that's one of the big reasons why I think there's no alpha generation happening and why the industry is moving towards passive. The industry is made up of very average people who just don't know what they're doing. A second interviewee described how a top fund manager was barely able to use a computer, still kept a paper diary, and insisted on his PA printing out a paper copy of any research he wanted to read. I don't see any reason why this trend towards passive management won't continue, said a third interviewee. All my own money's in index funds. Next up, Hasan Minaj discusses the responsibility of spokespeople with Kevin O'Leary. O'Leary, who was a talking head for FTX Crypto and was featured prominently in their advertising, defends himself rather calmly and collectively. I think the biggest takeaway is that we shouldn't be taking financial advice from paid marketing campaigns. It'll be a long time until we know the outcome of the FTX scandal. Keeping in mind that I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, I agree with Hasan Minaj. One of my favorite books on investing for the average person is J.L. Collins' The Simple Path to Wealth. Have you read The Simple Path to Wealth? And if so, what did you think? Or do you have other recommendations for books on investing? Please let us know in the comments below. Today's bonus is all about geographic arbitrage. Geo-arbitrage, as it's known in personal finance circles, is when you move from a high cost of living area to a low cost of living area. This mostly means people in the global north moving to countries where it's cheaper to live, but it can mean even moving within your own country. Generally speaking, people use geo-arbitrage to make their retirement dollars go further. But how much would it cost an American to retire in various countries? Dig has an excellent couple of maps to show you how far your savings would go if you retired at 61 and died at the average age of 76. Most expensive country? Singapore. It will cost you over $1 million to live there. The least expensive country is Pakistan, which would require a nest egg of about $158,500. Most expensive U.S. state? Hawaii at $900,000, and the least expensive U.S. state is Mississippi, clocking in at a meager $470,000. Of course, many of us plan to live a lot longer than the age of 76. Still, this is a fun representation of how you could live comfortably in different areas of the world. Check out the full images here. And that's a wrap for March 13th, 2023. We'll see you tomorrow.